It's our good friend, Mr. Jake Goldman!
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it. White suit, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Should have dyed the soul patch red.
That's right about that.
Yeah, all right. Just upfront banter, that's what really makes a great comedian. Yeah. You know, I was doing my usual dumpster dive, Keith,
Yeah.
behind the Warwick Mall. And I found a book.
Really?
Can you believe it? Yeah.
In Warwick?
Yeah, it's usually just bags of... That's right. I know. It's usually just bags of hair and spaghettis. The hair is good. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. Anyway, that's a tale for another day.
Yeah.
You know, there's a sports clips and a super clips nearby. This book, though, is called Failed Siblings of Famous Novelists. Yeah. I have a successful sibling, so I could relate. But so there's these excerpts of these like famous novelists, twin siblings. They're all twins. And they, you know, apparently they tried, you know, before their siblings became famous and wrote these books. So this one is by Shel Silverstein's brother, Crab Silverstein. It's called The Giving Shrub. There was once a shrub that felt indifferent towards a boy, but the boy loved her. Whenever the boy said, "I love you" to the shrub, it said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And the boy would come every day, try to gather her leaves, but there were too many thorns on the branches, and it also seemed to be oozing glue. He would step over her back and forth because you couldn't climb it, you would just fall into the thorns. And when he was tired, he fell asleep next to the shrub. And the local children quietly robbed him. But the boy loved the shrub, and the shrub was in immense pain because of a parasitic wasp hollowing it out from the inside. Time went by and the shrub was sometimes alone, but mostly not because the boy had difficulties finding work. Not because the boy had difficulties finding work and maintaining steady relationships, that he remained living above his parents' garage. One day the shrub said, "Come, boy, rip me out of the ground. End my misery, please. There are mole rats underground gnawing on my roots." But the boy said, "I'm too old for that, and I need some money for weed vapes." "You know anyone who can get me a big weed vape?" "No," said the shrub, "but you can set me on fire and inhale the fumes. Please, maybe you'll hallucinate." And so the boy considered this, but then turned and stepped on a rake, which hit him in the face. The boy fell backwards and fell asleep on the shrub. And the shrub was miserable. The boy woke up the next day and the shrub said, please, there's gasoline in the garage. I saw your father swinging it around his head last week when he was threatening your mailman. Douse me and end me, please, I beg you." But the boy said, "I'm too tired from the weed vapes. I've heard of this new thing called cocaine. Have you heard of it? Do you know where I can get cocaine vapes?" The shrub said, "I don't know, but I do understand your desire to numb reality, and I wish for an unseasonal frost to take me now." But the boy went away for a while. He heard that you drove up to Worcester, you could find guys behind the Denny's with counterfeit cocaine vapes, which he bought and then had a psychotic break. Spent 2 months in the hospital. He came back after he was treated and saw the shrub withering away. The boy drug himself over to the shrub and lay down in the dried branches. When he awoke, branches and twigs were scattered about him. A great wind had uprooted the shrub, leaving him with just scraps. But the boy was determined to not let the shrub die in vain. He gathered the twigs and small branches and got to work. And after sawing and smashing and gluing and hammering, he made the wood into a lovely cutting board and used it to smash a window at his grandmother's house. And then he used that to bash open a safe. It wasn't a very secure safe. He took all the jewels, cash, and gold bullion out of it, and then he drove back to Worcester, where he bought even more vapes. And that's where Krabs ended his story out. So, thank you. Let me know if you want more. There's like Ernest Hemingway stuff in here too.
That's Jake